There's a lot of people right now facing money challenges. Um, how can we apply this technology, or can we show how to have a breakthrough around money right now?
For sure, Lulu, it's really important. That's a critical matter. The first thing with again with our money, all of us have made many decisions about ourselves in relationship to money, and we've made decisions about money as we're growing up. So some people make a decision like, I'm just not good at money. Other people make a decision like, okay, I shouldn't have to worry about money. I should just be able to have what I have. Some people make a decision about money like money's hard to earn. So again, it's really critical that if anybody's having any financial difficulty, is to really distinguish and identify what have I decided about money itself and what have I decided about myself in relationship to money. And when that gets cleared out, then again, you have a free relationship with money, which is really important. Then, after that, it's really important to deal with the facts about money from any story about it. So facts sound like this. I have $10,000 in my 401k. Or facts sound like this. My income is $2,000 a month. My expenses are $1,800 a month. That's what facts sound like. There's things we add to that, like, oh, I'm not really successful, or oh, I'm not a good parent because I can't provide my kids what they want. To again separate out what we've added to it from the facts is a critical first matter. And anybody can do that. You can just take out a piece of paper, draw a line down the center of the page, and on one side of the page put the facts, on the other side of the page put what you've added to those facts. And when people can deal with the facts about money versus what they've made up about it, dealing with the facts is what works.
So we can create money also, that's what you're saying?
I'm saying that you can, when you deal with reality,
Yeah.
and you can be
Yeah.
effective in managing money and also in working like new projects. Here's something that works also about money is to engage other people again. You know, let's suppose your family, let's suppose your income, because many people's incomes has been reduced recently and cost has gone up. So to engage the whole family in projects, right? Like to have the kids, everybody can get involved in something. When everybody in the family can get involved, you know, just things like turning off the lights, or things like not wasting different things.
Yeah.
When you can include even the kids in a project like that, the whole family's organized around having things work in a new way. And that brings people closer together in times of tough financial times versus have them disconnect, which is really important.
Can we walk through a mini exercise right now with me to show how it can work?
Sure.
Let's say I want to create money for, or bring money for a project, a tour that I want to set up, but it's way, way bigger than whatever I have done so far.
Great. So the first thing, Lulu, I would ask you is, I would really ask you to get the facts. How much is that tour going to cost? And really do the thinking of the budget for it, and we'd really write that down first so we would know exactly what we're dealing with. I need $50,000 for that tour, and we would be very clear about that. That's the most important part.
Okay,
Then,
that we're talking 500,000.
okay, I need $500,000 for that tour. All right, good.
Clearly, no, I'm not joking.
No, I know. Okay, good. I know I was laughing at myself for having said 50,000. Okay,
It's a year tour, so yes.
all right, good. Then Lilo, then I'd ask you, okay, $500,000, and that's clear, and that's a well thought out budget, so you're certain about that. And then I'd ask you, okay, Lilo, $500,000. What are some of the decisions you make about that $500,000? Do you have any decisions about you, like $500,000 is more than you can do,
Yeah.
or $500,000 is beyond your reach? Anything like that you've decided?
Yeah, I mean, I've never even had that kind of money, so I don't know how what that represents. It's hard to, for me, it feels like it's hard to attract something that I don't even know what can feel like.
Thanks. All right, good. So if you listen right there, you'll notice one of the things that is true for you is that $500,000 would be hard to attract.
Yeah.
Did you hear yourself say that?
Yeah.
Great. Now that's something that you added to $500,000. Can you hear that that part's made up?
Yeah.
Great. And if you get that that's made up, so you don't have to talk yourself into now, this would be positive thinking, which doesn't work. Okay, $500,000 is easy to attract.
Why
That doesn't
doesn't
work
that work?
because you're always debating the old decision you got called it's hard. So then you go, it's easy. Then you and you'd wake up in the morning tomorrow morning, and what would be right there waiting for you again is no, it's hard. Then you would convince yourself it's easy, and then a few hours later it would be hard again. It keeps a debate going. What works powerfully is to get that it's $500,000 is hard. That actually is made up. That is added to $500,000. And when you can get that part's made up, then it exists just like Red Riding Hood, or it exists like Goldilocks. It exists like a story that got added to the facts. When you relate to it as a story versus a fact, that's where you get your freedom. Okay?
So I have to be present to that and then just move on from there. But it keeps on coming back.
Okay, then you'd look to see what other decisions you got about that $500,000, and probably some decisions about other people. See, we often have a decision that other people won't do what we want them to do. So look to see if you have any decisions about investors or contributors, and if you haven't already decided that they won't want to give you the money. Anything like that in there?
Yeah, well, there's the control thing probably too, of
Okay.
losing control or not being bought out or being then not having my creative freedom.
Aha. That
And
would be,
also the trust also comes up, the
yes.
worthiness and the trust.
Okay, very good, Lulu. So again, and if you can get, okay, there's what's needed is $500,000, and then there's some facts. There's certain people who have the money to contribute, and there's certain people that there's certain resources for those funds. And if you separate those facts from, oh, if I get that investor, I'll lose control. Or, oh, if I get that investor, I don't have as much say in what I'm doing. Now, that's actually the part that's added to the fact called I need investors. And if you get that part sorted out, then again, then you go back to what we talked about before about effective communication, and everything can get worked out in communication. Everything. You've really got to trust everything can get worked out in communication.
Meaning that we can share that with anybody.
Exactly. You can share that with anybody, and that if you have an investor and if you have a concern about how much control they're going to have, you can work that out in communication so that you don't have to, that concern can get addressed rather than that you just.
Yeah, that authenticity is definitely so key, and I'm so thankful for having done the form and the curriculum and have learned that, because that's such a critical piece.
Right.
Of being related to another human being.
It makes all the difference, right? And in the area of money, so if you want $500,000 for that tour, then that's going to take being authentically related to people, right? And, so you're looking, Lilu, for any decision you have about yourself, like, oh, I've never had $500,000, that's out of my reach. Any decision about others, like, oh, if I let them invest, they'll take control. Or any decisions just about the situation itself, which is that this is going to take a lot of time. And you keep looking for everything you've decided, and then you move it from the nonfiction shelf of your library, which is where we put it, over to the fiction shelf. That's all you do, and you get, wow, I made that up. And that will give you some freedom, Lulu, okay?
And there's just a final thing that I wanted to speak about is the be, do, have. Can you tell us about that?
Well, you could look at life. In the Landmark Forum, we take many different views of life, many, many different views, and look at life from many different angles, so to speak. And one of the angles you can look at life from is that there is 3 domains of life. There's who we be, there's what we do, and there's what we have. And while most people, the common thinking, and again, at Landmark Education, what we really focus on is new perspectives, because new perspectives give new opening for action. The common perspective is that the quality of our life, our happiness, is correlated to what we have. The common perspective is that the quality of our life, our happiness, is correlated to what we do. Therefore, people are always trying to have the right things and do the right things in order to become something. If I have the right job and do it the right way, I'll be successful. If I find the right diet and stick to it the right way, I'll be thin. It actually doesn't work, Lilo, because what there is to notice is that the quality of our life, our happiness, our fulfillment, our effectiveness, is actually correlated to this other domain called who are we being. There's ways of being like generous, courageous, empowering. There's other ways of being like stingy, cowardly, demeaning. There's ways of being that there's some way we're always being. This domain has gone unexamined by most people, but it's actually the critical domain. When somebody can see who they're being, and what becomes very clear, you and I may not have a lot to say about what we have. We could have a car 1 minute, it's gone the next. You and I don't even have that much say about what we do. If we step off a roof, we will fall down. But this domain of being, whether we're cowardly or courageous, generous or stingy, that we have total say about. So when one goes there and literally in that domain of being, you create who you're going to be, then you step back into life and do what that human being would do. Then you have the miraculous results that human being would have. Now, everybody you and I have ever been inspired by, the Nelson Mandelas, the Mahatma Gandhis, have been people who powerfully resolved who they were going to be as a human being, then lived life consistent with that, and then they had results like the freedom of India happening nonviolently that were breathtaking. So it really does go be, do, have. Resolve who we're going to be, then take actions consistent with that, and then you'll have the magical, miraculous breakthrough results that you would have, that person would have. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, no, that was really well explained. So like Gandhi, to see the world change, then we have to be that change ourselves.
That's right. We're the change ourselves. That's right.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, David, for spending this time with us. It's been
Great.
a pleasure to be speaking with you.
Great. Likewise.
And if you have a final little word or something that you would like to say that we haven't talked about?
I just think as a final thing, I just really, for everybody that is watching this and listens to this, is that really there's no limit on what's possible in our lives, and the only thing that limits us is what we have decided about the past. And at Landmark Education, we're just committed to empower and enable people in fulfilling those matters that are of interest and importance to them, however we can do that. And then that's what we're committed to, and we're pleased to serve people all around the world. It's really wonderful.
You are all around the world, aren't you?
Yes, thanks.
How many forum leaders are you?
There's 50 of us in the world who lead the Landmark Forum, and we come from Australia, New Zealand, India, Germany. We come from all over the world. So it's a really extraordinary team of men and women I'm proud to be on, and we're proud to offer our programs at Landmark Education.
Thank you.
Ourselves in relationship to money, and we've made decisions about money as we're growing up. So some people make a decision like, I'm just not good at money. Other people make a decision like, okay, I shouldn't have to worry about money. I should just be able to have what I have. Some people make a decision about money like, money's hard to earn. So again, it's really critical that if anybody's having any financial difficulty, is to really distinguish and identify, what have I decided about money itself, and what have I decided about myself in relationship to money? And when that gets cleared out, then again, you have a free relationship with money, which is really important. Then, after that, it's really important to deal with successful, or, I'm not a good parent because I can't provide my kids what they want. To again, separate out what we've added to it from the facts is a critical first matter. And anybody can do that. You can just take out a piece of paper, draw a line down the center of the page, and on one side of the page, put the facts. On the other side of the page, put the facts about money from any story about it. So facts sound like this. I have $10,000 in my 401k. Or facts sound like this. My income is $2,000 a month. My expenses are $1,800 a month. That's what facts sound like. There's things we add to that, like, oh, I'm not really successful.
There's a lot of people right now facing money challenges. Um, how can we apply this technology, or can we show how to have a breakthrough around money right now?
For sure, Lulu, it's really important. That's a critical matter. The first thing again, with our money, all of us have made many decisions about our